People think the Mojave Desert is just empty land, just heat, rock, and silence. But the Mojave is one of the most extreme environments in North America. It stretches across California, Nevada, Arizona, even into Utah. Temperatures can swing from freezing cold at night to well over 110 degrees during the day. It's a place that's been shaped by isolation for a very long time. You've got abandoned mining towns, military testing grounds, and some of the most remote stretches of road in the country. Places where, if something happened, there wouldn't be anyone around to see it. And for decades, people who've passed through the Mojave have reported things that don't really fit into that empty desert idea. Voices where there shouldn't be any. Figures standing in places no one should be. Lights, movement, things that don't quite make sense. Because when you're out here long enough, away from cities, away from noise, you start to notice things a little differently. And the Mojave has a reputation for that. Not just being empty, but being something else entirely. It's Geo in the desert. Tune in for a second. There was a phone booth 12 miles from any paved road sitting completely alone in the middle of the Mojave Desert. No town around it, no buildings, just a single booth out there in the open, surrounded by nothing but dry ground, Joshua trees, and distant mountains. Back in the 90s, people started sharing its number online, and for whatever reason, it caught on. People from all over were calling this one phone booth just to see if someone would answer. And sometimes, someone did. There are stories of people making the trip out there, standing next to it in the middle of the night, just waiting. One guy said he watched it for hours. No cars passing, no movement anywhere. And then suddenly, the phone rang. Out of nowhere. Another person said they picked it up and didn't hear a voice at all, just breathing on the other end. Not static, not wind, something that sounded like it was there. And what's strange is, people didn't just call it out of curiosity. A lot of them described feeling like they needed to go out there, like something about that place was pulling them in. Like the phone booth wasn't just sitting there, but waiting. Now we find ourselves in the almost never-ending stretch of Route 66, the once bustling artery of this country, now reduced in places to long-forgotten ghost towns. And that road eventually pulls you toward a detour, Amboy Road. If you've ever driven it at night, you already know how it feels. There's no light out there, no traffic, just your headlights pushing forward into darkness, and everything else disappears behind you. People who've driven that road late at night have reported seeing figures standing just off the shoulder, not waving for help, not moving, just standing there, facing the road. One driver said he slowed down because he thought someone might be stranded. But as he got closer, the figure just wasn't there anymore. No movement, no sound, no place they could have gone. Others talk about headlights appearing behind them, way out in the distance, slowly catching up, keeping pace for miles, and then suddenly vanishing. No turnoff, no passing car, just gone. And after a while, you start to wonder if what you're seeing out there is actually there at all, or if the desert is just showing you something. Calico Ghost Town is a little different because during the day, it looks normal. Tourists walk through it, take pictures, read about the old mining days. It feels like history. But at night, it's a completely different place. People who've worked there or stayed after closing have said the buildings don't feel empty once the sun goes down. One person described hearing footsteps inside a locked structure. Slow, steady, like someone walking across wooden floors that no one was supposed to be on. Another account talked about voices. Not loud, Not clear enough to make out words, but enough to know it wasn't just wind moving through the town. And then there's the temperature. In the middle of the desert, where the heat lingers even after sunset, people have reported certain rooms going cold. Not gradually, just sudden drops, like you stepped into a completely different space for a second, like something passed through. And then there's something most people don't even know exists. Out on a remote ridge in the Mojave, there's a massive structure shaped like a megaphone, pointed out into the desert. No clear explanation, no official purpose that most people can agree on. Some say it's just an art installation. Others think it might have been used for something more technical, maybe even experimental. But the stories around it are what make it interesting. People who've gone out there say sound behaves differently. Voices carry farther than they should. Echoes stretch out longer than expected. One person said they spoke into it just to hear their voice bounce back. But what came back didn't sound exactly like an echo. It was delayed, slightly off, like something was responding instead of reflecting. And that's the kind of thing that sticks with you, because you can't really explain it away. And maybe all of this, the voices, the figures, the sounds, maybe it's just fragments, leftover energy, the kind of things that build up over time in a place that's seen a lot. But then there's something else out here, something people don't just hear, they see. And this one is right here in my neck of the woods. They call it the Yucca Man. Since the 1970s, people in areas around Joshua Tree and the Antelope Valley have reported seeing a large upright figure moving through the desert at night. Tall, broad, covered in hair, walking like a man, but not quite the same. One hiker said he could hear something pacing him from the rocks while he was walking alone. Not getting closer, not falling behind, just staying with him the entire time. Another person said they saw it standing between Joshua trees at a distance, completely still, like if it was watching. And what people keep coming back to isn't just what they saw, it's how they felt. Like the moment you realize you're not alone out there, like something has been there longer than you. Long before the roads, long before the towns, long before us. So maybe it's not just one story, not just a phone booth in the middle of nowhere, or something standing on the side of the road, or a voice carried across the desert. Maybe the Mojave isn't empty at all. Maybe it's layered, and every once in a while, something slips through. This is Joshua Tree Encounters, where UFOs, cryptids, and strangeness collide.